Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to make sure that this stream is working. We're all up here live on YouTube, Swissbeatbox. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. This is episode 3 of Beyond the Beats. I'm your host, Scott Jackson. Hope you're having a fun time on a Sunday right now. I'm just making sure that this is working, that it's going out properly, and that you guys are all tuned in. Share this round if you want to watch it. Make sure that you go and get your friends to go and log on. Once again, Beyond the Beats, episode 3, coming at you live and direct right here, live stream to YouTube on Swissbeatbox. Today we have not just one, but 2 guests. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest is Zer0 from Azerbaijan, making sure that you guys know who he is, aka Zer0. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Beatbox Battle World League Online solo winner. He won this year. Make some noise. Give it up for Zer0. Give it up for Zer0. Give it up for Zer0. And also joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, we have my good friend repping the UK, Charlie Pitt, aka Frosty, who just won the Loopstation battle when we went on the Grand Beatbox Battle for the World League Online Edition 2020. So give it up for Frosty, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, right here live, Beyond the Beats, episode 3. I hope you guys are with us, and I think it's time that we get into it. So, give me an ish. 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 Once again, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you're having a fun time at home on a Sunday. My name is Scott Jackson, right here live for Beyond the Beats, episode 3. I'm joined with my friends right now. I already introduced them, but we have Zer0 and Frosty. So first of all, Zer0, how you feeling?
I'm good, bro. Really, really good to be here. What about you?
I'm very happy to be here and actually get to see your face and actually have a conversation with you live over the internet, to go and have it brought to a lot of fans of beatboxing and people that are tuning in just to find out more about yourself. So it's a pleasure to have you on here, man. Thank you for joining us. And next up too, I want to know, Frosty, how you feeling? Charlie, how we doing out there in the UK?
I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for joining us as well. So I don't like to waste time because we only have a little bit of time together, which is more time than we started with. And I want to make sure we make the best use of that time that we have together. So let's make it a good time and start off like this. I always want to know this, and I always ask this question. I did some research, and I found out some answers from some other interviews you guys did before. But I want to go and ask this starting off. I'll ask each one of you, just go and give your own version of it. But Zer0, when did you first learn about beatboxing? What was it that drew you to it and got you started? What were your first inspirations to start beatboxing?
It was like 8th grade, I think, or maybe 7th grade, something like that. I first thing that I saw was that Joseph Pulpo video, you know, that I think that's the video. Yeah, like a lot of beatboxers like started from, maybe. Yeah, that was the first thing. And then when I saw it, it was like, you know, a shock for me. You know, how can a human possibly do that? And I tried to do something, you know, just copy what he was doing. It was pretty messy. So for like a year, I think I forgot about beatboxing. I was studying to apply for new school and so on. So when I got to new school, I already like could do, you know, some like simple beats, you know, that thing. So when I got there, I was like, okay, a lot of talented guys here. I need to be talented too, you know. And I started to just remembering all the things that I was doing before in beatboxing, you know, the things that I saw from videos and so on. So I started training, and like it passed like less than a month, maybe even less, and I was addicted. I was just, you know, watching a lot of videos and so on, trying to do new sounds. And then I found out about the local community, Azerbaijani community. It was like 10 people maximum, maybe even, you know, less than that. So yeah, we met up, and that's how I get into like the community, as like the beatbox as a community, not only.
Absolutely. That's your first experience, was that Joseph video, and you heard the the classic Billie Jean and him doing his cover of Wind and by Kenny and like having that influence. So I think that's why a lot of beatboxers did start to go as soon as you had those YouTube videos come out and they actually see it live. They're like, "Whoa, I need this in my life," and you start practicing. And then you found out that there were some friends in your community that did as well. That's very interesting, man. And
Definitely.
I'm gonna give the same question to Frosty. Charlie, how did you find out about beatboxing? What was your first experience of it? Who was the first person that you saw do it, and what drew you to it?
So I originally in my first secondary school, it was kind of like I was in a bad crowd and stuff, and I ended up getting kicked out of the school, and then eventually it was like I just felt like so down at the time, and then I met someone at some new school, and I was maybe I was in year 9, so I was about 14, and he was just doing basic beats, and I was like, how is he doing it? Like, because he was like doing the basic like humming and like this basic stuff, and I didn't understand how that's even possible. So I was like, okay, give me like 1 week, 2 week, and I'm gonna battle him and beat him. So
How'd
maybe
that go?
like 2 weeks later, um, I battled him, and then yeah, I took the win. There was 2 judges, other classmates, very pristine judges. So yeah,
So after 2 weeks of practicing, after hearing a guy beatbox, you decided that's right into the battle mentality. You're
yeah,
gonna
I
battle
was
him.
basically learning off of videos and stuff.
So, but in 2 weeks' time, you went into a schoolyard and battled this guy and ended up beating him.
Yeah, and then after that, it was just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. I must be insanely good if I can beat humming and beatboxing at the same time. So
True enough. That's amazing, man. And what were the after like when you first saw him do that and you went home because as Zero said he found people that were doing it in his community. So after seeing that guy in school, when you went home, did you go and look up beatboxing on YouTube and be like, who else does this thing and kind
um,
of research off there to practice it?
yeah, mainly just tutorials, like the old. Honestly, when I looked at the tutorials, I just found them impossible because I was looking at like, if you remember Looperman doing like LM tutorials, there's no way I'm doing it. And so eventually because I was playing games at the time as well, so I just looked at like Xbox Beatbox, and I found like Homicide and people like that. And then eventually from there, I basically I just trained to beat him. But after that, it was like I found Reaps One. I found the UK community like Beatbox. These people like inspired me at the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's a funny way to go about it, to go and have that first reason of starting a beatbox wasn't to go and beatbox for itself, was to beat someone in it. I love that. So you started off as a battler right out the gate. Speaking of battles, you put an entry into the 2014 under 18 UK champs that I found on your SoundCloud. That's still up there. And I'm not sure if you made it that year, but 2 years later, you went back and you actually won that battle. So you actually came back in 2016 to become the under 18 UK champ, and the improvement was like immense for me to go and see just the few clips that you had on, I still have on your SoundCloud that I found listening through them from you just being like, oh, I'm just bored, or just trying out a new sound, or just trying out a new thing, and then moving it forward a few years, your level of the way you increased was like very very high. And also Zero, I found a battle where you were in Baku, and it was from 2013. You faced a beatboxer called Artie in the
Oh,
semifinals, and it was in the beatometry battle. So then a year later in 2014, you came back and became the champion of that battle. So both of you guys had a similar kind of thing where you started off and you tried out for a battle, and maybe you lost the battle right off or you didn't make it into it, and then you came back a couple of years later and actually won the battles that were first in your areas, right? And I wanted to go and ask, for the younger beatboxers that are joining into our community, how important was that experience to have the availability of going to a battle and watching it and participating in a battle and have something to work towards when you're sitting at home? I'm going to leave that question to let's go with Zero first. When you were at home and you saw and you started practicing after you saw that Joseph video, and then you get into the community and they say, 2013ish, come out to this battle, you try it out, it didn't work out the first time, but then you came back the next year and you ended up smashing it and become the champion there. So how important is it for a young beatboxer to have that experience and have that availability in their community?
Oh, it's very, very important, because okay, I'm doing a lot of online battles, but you don't have that energy, of a live battle, just feeling that when someone battles live, I think he has the ability to perform best that he ever done, because yeah, he gets caught up in the main energy of the whole event, and with that you can be better, or the opposite can happen because you can become nervous. But going through that experience, I think, is very, very important, because yeah, as you said, when I was on my first battle, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go as far as I can, because I knew that there were some guys that were more experienced than me in beatboxing. So I think I got like I lost in semifinals that
Yeah, you
year.
got
Like,
semifinals.
yeah. So it was like, as soon as the battle ended and I found out that I lost, I was like, I'm gonna come back 100%. I'm gonna come back and win this next time. So that motivation, I think live battles give a lot more motivation. You can get a lot more from it, just to become better as a beatboxer.
And as a young beatboxer starting out, what was that experience like to have someone older than you maybe in the community and some guys organizing so you already saw it happening? What was that experience to go and walk into it and have these people being like, "Oh, you're a beatboxer," and having that connection right off the bat? How was that for you?
It was actually amazing, because like I found out about the community maybe a little more than half a year after I just like started practicing. So what I was doing before that, I was just sitting at home watching tutorials and trying to do it. But after, when I found that group of people, we started to like meet and just jam together for like at least once a week, probably. So yeah, we grew together, and they were some more experienced beatboxer than me and some less experienced. So more experienced guys were helping me to grow, as I was helping less experienced guys to grow as well. As like together as a community, and it means a lot. I think it's a lot better to practice with another beatboxers, because you share some ideas, um, teach each other different techniques and so on. So yeah, it's really cool.
It's that hip hop mentality, each one teach one. So make sure that you guys give it on to the next generation, and hopefully the generation before you is giving it to you, because the knowledge gets to pass down and improves. And I always say that if my generation is better than the generation that comes after me, then my generation failed. So I'm so proud of seeing guys like you and Frosty just crushing it out there. And Frosty, I was gonna say too. So when you went to that from 2014 of putting in your UK champ thing on intro just on SoundCloud there, to going and winning it in 2016. Were you already involved in the community, or was that one of your first live experiences to be at an event and seeing people? Because I know that you went with D'Lo to that event and brought back that championship, as you said it on online in your Facebook post. I see these things. But how was that experience for you, like going and seeing? Because the UK scene is very established. You have a bunch of amazing and incredible artists that are beatboxers over the years, and the champions seem to be like always high quality. So you joined their ranks in that under 18 battle that you won. So how was that experience for you first joining the UK community and going to an actual event live?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely different when you're in like a live event. The first live event I went to was just a small little gathering almost, and then I'd never met another beatboxer besides the guy in my school. I never met anyone, and then I meet like Sid Effects and people like that, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, just act normal, but everything's just like so weird for me. And I actually entered for that. It was like a small battle, but I didn't make it in. But the 2014 under 18s was my first battle. I made it in. I got to the semi-final, which is pretty good for like first time. I ended up losing to Dilo. A lot of people don't know that we battled back then, but that's quite
Ooh.
crazy. And then the following year, like I like when you're in a live event, you get like so much inspiration to make like different styles that work on the stage instead of that's in my case anyway. So like your mindset changes to what you don't like what you think is insane might not be so insane to the crowd. So I took that and then I practiced crazy for the following under 18s 2015. I ended up practicing for like half a year and then I ended up losing in the first battle, which it was like proper demotivating. But after that, like I got a lot of support from all the UK people because the UK scene it's quite people keep to themselves, but when it's the championships, everyone's together and we're all learning off of each other. So I took all the inspiration I could, and then the following year I ended up taking the title against Epos. So it was a really good learning experience for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how many in the UK scene, especially kind of that back and forth. When I was looking up the history of it and seeing the names that I'm like realizing and recognizing, like, wow, he battled him. And then you see fast forward at 5-6 years, and you're like, wow, that guy's on the Grand Beatbox battle stage. This guy's in the World Champs. This beat like it's amazing because the UK is such a high level. And honestly, that's dope. At least that you can look back on those days and be like, oh, I lost to Dilo. Oh, I lost. I beat Epo. You're like Epos. You could say that, and it's amazing to go and
Yeah,
see
it's
that.
so strange because back then these people like they're like no one knows them, and now it's like we're at the top. So it's quite crazy.
But that's just like natural progression. I think overall, when you see a scene that's growing and growing well, like Zer0 was saying too, where the older guys are teaching younger is getting more knowledge, and you're getting more people involved with it. It just keeps on growing, and that's how our whole community's kind of grown. When you go to these grand
Yeah.
beatbox battles and your national championships and other big events, then you have that opportunity to go and see it live, get inspired, go home and be like, okay, I need to learn that. I need to learn this. This guy's now my friend. I can go and call him. I can go and send messages, and you grow that network. And it's amazing to see how far beatboxing is being pushed and the community is just growing. But yeah, I wanted to actually ask about the uh, Azerbaijan. Yes,
Yes.
got that name correctly. Excuse me. I'm Canadian. I don't know what that
Okay.
means, but I mean, I have sometimes some issues with words. But I was gonna say, does the beatometry battle still happen? Is urban art still a thing? And what is the current scene like? Do you guys have a national championship yet, or is it something that you guys are working towards?
Um, that's a good question because it's right now it's a big problem in my country because um, in a lot of post-USSR countries, as Azerbaijan, beatbox is not really popular, first of all, and a lot of people don't think that that's a serious thing to do. They find it a little childish, maybe. And when, for example, um, just as an example, when a Azeri person he sees a video about beatboxing, can be two ways. Either it's like that's really cool, I like it, or it's find yourself a job or something like that. Yeah, it's really sad, but it just formed with years. I think we will change it with time, of course, because it still grows. It's not as big as in such countries as UK, as France, but I think it grows and it will become better, and the and people will change, about their ideas about beatbox. But right now, it's kind of getting popular, but not as popular as you want to see it. So about the battles, it's like it was more active in 2013, 14, 15. Now it's we don't have like we didn't have national champs for last 3 years or 4 years. Yeah, because um, you know, we don't have a lot of beatboxers that want to participate. A lot of them thinks that I'm not good enough to participate right now, so I need to practice maybe, or I don't consider it as something serious in my life, and so on. And plus, like sponsors, again, if they cannot gather people, then they just won't do it. It's as simple as it gets.
Yeah,
But we are working on it.
sponsorships are always hard to find. There we go. In any country, and I can only imagine it's a difficult thing. And but I was gonna say with the scene that you have too, because I know that you're a big part of it, and you said there's older and younger and people that are coming together and practicing, so your scene is strong. Um, I wanted to ask: are there any up and comers that you see in your country that you're like, wow, that guy's or that girl's going to be something at a really high level and is going to represent my country very well? Is there anybody that you can see in the ranks that you're like want to give a shout out to, or just think that is has a lot
Um,
of potential?
um, I think the whole new generation that we have right now. I'm trying to do like online battles for our younger generation, like new wave of beatboxers. And it's not only about the age; it's about the time that you dedicated to beatbox. So yeah, that new wave of beatboxers. Right now, I'm trying to do a lot of online battles for them, and plus, I think it will help them grow more. But yeah, the whole new wave is like. They are beatboxing for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and right now they're like for 3 years, 2 years, they're a lot better than me when I was beatboxing for 2, 3 years.
Mm.
So yeah, when I see it, I think, yeah, a couple years and a lot of young beatboxers will come from a country to destroy a stage, man. Boop, boop, boop.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing them. You're gonna have an army of zeros. You're gonna come out there and just crush everybody. I like it.
No, we'll just go with numbers. The next one is one. I'm
Oh.
planning to do. Yeah,
You're gonna get to 11 and you're gonna be like, "That's it. That's the one. It's gonna be
that's
keep on
enough.
going." That's awesome, man. And also with Frosty, same with you, because you went from that the underage champ, and then obviously you moved on and became the UK champ 2017. You've got a couple championships with Dan with Kotcha. You became the Loopstation champ in the UK. Is there anybody that you see in the up and coming ranks currently in the UK that you really think you're like, wow, that's gonna be someone special for my country. That's gonna be someone that represents super hard for the UK.
Yeah, we've actually got quite a lot of people that not a lot of people know about. Like some of them in the online scene, but in the live scene, no. So there's people like X Floors. He's crazy from the UK, but a lot of people don't know about him. Or Milky is very good.
Yep.
Shiro is pretty good. There's so many people that are coming up, but yeah, like they'll get their day.
They'll get their day. And I was gonna say, you mentioned it earlier, Frosty. The earliest video that I could find on YouTube and anywhere, aside from your SoundCloud stuff, actually, I found a video 2013 when you were Frosty SFX, and it was off of Xbox Live, which was dope to hear because it was your friend recording it and being like, "Okay, everyone, shut up, shut up, shut up. He's gonna go and beatbox." And they said, "Okay, do your thing," and you actually got to go and show your talent. I was gonna ask, because you can see guys like Codfish, aka Bunny Fluff, when he was back in the day doing it, and a lot of people that are doing it more now, where beatboxers go into lobbies or they're doing it through gaming because people connect through gaming worldwide. Um, is that a place that was one of your first places of actually getting the opportunity to share your talent with a lot of people and actually being able to do it, not just kind of to family and friends and in your room type thing? Is that a place that you got to go express yourself through that video game chat? And also, do you think that that's a good place for beatboxers to give themselves a chance to either get some exposure, maybe make that compilation video, put it out, and also be able to go and maybe get that confidence up of beatboxing and people on their headphones being like, "Whoa, what is this? Everyone, put yourself on mute. I want to listen to what's going on." So, uh, is that something that's fair to say, or can you give me a little bit of talk of the Xbox Live days because I want to know about it?
Yeah, you've really done your research. um, yeah, it's definitely where I started for like to show people. Because when I started beatboxing, it was like I was just doing it for myself, just to get better. And then I found like videos of like reactions in Call of Duty lobbies, like so close to toast and people like that. And then I was like, yeah, I can I can be good. I can get these reactions. I didn't record it. I just did it for the reactions. And yeah, it was definitely good because there was such a big community on there at the time, and even I haven't been back on there in a long time, but yeah, it was good to learn off of each other for sure.
And that was a place before you went on to like a TeamSpeak or Ventrilo
Yeah, yeah,
days.
yeah.
Was Xbox kind of where
I
you
started
started? Just
on yeah Xbox to Ventrilo and then the TeamSpeak.
yeah, man. Speaking of TeamSpeak days, I was gonna say too, Zero, you crushed it on TeamSpeak for a long time. I still think that you do some stuff on there when it was still around. And now it's gone on to, of course, the beatbox community. Shout out to the beatbox community. Shout out to Decoy for running that. But you have an amazing online career, winning multiple daily battles on TeamSpeak. You won the overall Beatbox Kings tournament and became the top beatboxer of TeamSpeak 2016. I found videos of you versus Alem, which was nuts when you beat Alem online, which is like, just one of the things when watching it back, I never was part of that. I feel like I missed out a lot because I never got onto the online scene too much. But after seeing it with battles like that and winning that overall TeamSpeak in 2016, the top beatboxer for their channel over what was now Vocoda, Autical, and Inertia being the runner, started battling on it. And what do you think? What do you think of the online scene now from where it came from?
Mm, I'm really thankful for all the things that TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, even rate call, more like yeah, rate call. It was um, because they and Discord, of course, Discord, because yeah, these communities, they give me a lot of inspiration, because I was not able to go to live events. Yeah, and for a person that cannot go to live events, it's a still a great chance to get that inspiration from other beatboxers. Yeah, so first thing I started from, I think, was rate call. um but I think the majority of people that were there, it was like Russian speaking community, Russian, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, and so on. So it's mainly in Russian, but it was still, a big community. A lot of people were there. Then I think it was Ventrilo, right? And then TeamSpeak, I got the chance to people saw me because they were battles and they were posting it on their YouTube channel. So I didn't know. First day I got there, I was just jamming, and then I saw that the daily battle was starting, and it was crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm participating, no problem. And I got to the finals, and I lost to, yeah, it was Pura.
Ah, I remember that.
uh,
I saw that when I was looking
yeah,
you up.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I lost to Pura, but it was like my first day in TeamSpeak. I was like, I'm gonna stay here for a while. Um, and yeah, I was just battling like crazy. It's like I have two all-time rivals. One is Inertia, and the other one is Oracle. Yeah, it's like with only these two guys, I battle more than 10 times each of them. The online scene, and it was like crazy, man, because I was participating. If I was losing, I was coming back stronger because it like inspired me, and I like was training. And yeah, with Alem, it was like it was crazy for me, because it's like the world champ comes in, TeamSpeak, and he was just jamming with us and when I was talking and so on. And then they posted that the daily battle is starting right now. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna participate too." And I was like, "Whoa!" Oh, everyone's so hype about it, you know. And when I got to the finals with Alim, I was like, "We can stop it right there, you know. We don't need to do a battle. It's okay." And I figured out, you know, I won. But to be honest with you, I think if it was a live battle at the moment, he would have smashed me hard, you know, because he has that really, really aggressive and cool stage presence. But yeah, I won, and I was like, just how, how, how did it happen? Uh, but it was really, really cool experience because it gave me a huge portion of inspiration, and I was still training like crazy.
And what do you think of the scene currently from where it's come? Because also the experience now of since the current world situation is the way it is, a lot of battles like Le Cup went online, and we've had obviously Grand Beatbox Battle World League Online Edition 2020 that you and crushed as the solo. How does it feel to go and see after years of doing TeamSpeak, Vent, doing all these different styles of battles, leading up now to this opportunity of doing the Grand Beatbox Battle on an online edition? And how did it feel to win? Like, what do you think about today's day and age of online battles and just that experience of winning after all these times of winning online battles, and now you won something with the prestige of Grand Beatbox Battle, and it actually is online. You know, how did that feel?
Yeah, it's like I read a comment somewhere. I don't remember. It was like, if Zer0 cannot go to GBB, then just GBB will come to his home. You know, and it's perfect for the situation. You know, for me, because obviously the situation in the world is really bad right now. You know what I mean? It's not a good thing, of course, but still, it gave me an opportunity to perform. You know, uh, in such a prestigious championship. Um, and right now, about the whole online beatbox scene, I think from like 2010s, maybe even more, it was getting bigger and bigger. And right now, it's at its best form as it can be. And I really hope that it will grow in the future as well, because you know, there's like it's like a sections. First, there's a beatboxer that don't know about the online beatboxing and don't know about the live battles. So it's the first step. Second step, he comes to online battles, and then he goes out and goes to live battles. So it's like it's working that way. And there's always beatboxers that will come to online stage, and always will be a beatboxers that will go out of it and go to live battles. So I think it will work for many years. Same as a live beatboxing scene, but right now, yeah, because of the things that are going on, it's like it got bigger, like in a sec, you know, in a moment, because all the beatboxers just started to go to Decoy's discords. Shout out to him, to all the other channels. And I think last time I got to discord, it was like all the rooms, almost all the rooms with jam, they were full almost. So it's like crazy because you know a lot of people at home, they need to talk to other people and so on. So just they are going for gaming, for beatboxing, and so on. So yeah, I think it's really big right now, and I hope that it will be big in future.
Yeah, man, it's crazy to see how that's actually come and moved forward. And like, I myself, again, I never was really a part of the online scene. The only person that ever really told me about it was Heat. John always told me, he's always just like, man, you got to check out this thing. You got to check out this battle. He battled you one time. He's like, oh, Zer0 smashed me. Shoot. But like he said, he kept on showing me these things, and the more and more like I look at it, looking back, I wish I was on it more. And now I'm happy that we get the opportunity to do something like this and being able to see the live battles that are happening online currently around the world. And Frosty too, you went online, you smashed a bunch of battles as well. You actually won one of the Beatbox King battles. I think it was a quarterly in 2015, and you actually won against Pira in the final round. So you can say that under your belt of having that. And what do you see the difference that from when you were battling from the Xbox days and the event days to now the Discord days, and actually that feeling of you won the Loopstation battle online at Grand Beatbox Battle, which you've already battled the live version in, but how did it feel to go online, win a championship that means a lot in the world today, to go and have a lot of recognition, maybe more so than it would have beforehand when not as many people knew about the online battles necessarily?
Um, yeah. So comparing like the battling nowadays to battling on like Xbox and even old Ventrilo days is completely different. Like like as online battles, because it seems now like everyone is on such a high level that there's no like better people anymore. Like there's no like, oh, this guy's up here and this guy's down, like this. Everyone's just such like they're so high level that it's just now it's kind of just down to preference. Like, what do you prefer to listen to?
Hmm.
And to be honest, like as far as the GBB online goes, at at the time it was like it was kind of weird for me when I won because it didn't sink in at all. Like what happened, like because at the time like I really wanted to be in GBB loops, the actual GBB event. Like a few months before, I was really hoping to get in, and I didn't. And then doing the GBB online, I thought like, oh yeah, like if I win, I can get into GBB. Wow, that's so cool. And then I ended up like winning, and it was just like, oh, that was cool. Like, but it felt like I just won like an online battle to me. It was kind of like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. And then like a few days later, I was like, oh, I'm in GBB. Oh yeah, I should probably start practicing. So it was kind of strange, to be honest.
Yeah, man. Well, you smashed it clearly though, and I really enjoyed your
Thank
battles.
you.
I think you battled Christoph, right? Is that one of the battles that you were in?
Brez. I battled
Brez.
Brez.
Sorry. Shout out to Christoph. Anyways, that guy's amazing. I love listening to stuff. But you had that was the finals. That's correct. But yeah, that was an awesome time, man. And I was gonna say both of you guys now have done the online battles and you've had the live battle success as well. Where Zer0, you were in either in that what is it, beatometry,
Yeah.
other than that battle, I found very few battles that you were actually in live, except for when you did 2017 Masters against Pura, and that stage presence where he just kind of tried to bully you into the corner. But then you came back afterwards and you won the 7 to smoke after the event happened, so you got some of your revenge and you got to go home a champion from Bulgaria. What are the major differences? We've talked about it a little bit, but like the live battle scene versus the online scene, what are some of the major differences and things that you've learned from doing both?
I think the main thing is, first of all, it's mic mastery, because as Frosty said, there's some techniques that without mic they can sound crazy, and when you do it to mic, it can come out, the other way, because same. Plus, you can see actually the reaction of the crowd while you're doing your showcase, your rounds in battles. So um, and plus, when you have live battle, you can actually make yourself go angry, against your opponent. It's like, come on, man. It's like just sometimes it's acting. Sometimes you really feel that way. Although I think the world beatbox community is one of the most friendly communities in the world. Um, but in the battles, you can go a little bit, angry. It's okay. It's a battle. Yeah, but in Discord, it's more like, you know people can, first of all, can use a better mic in battles, and it already gives them advantage. um, and yeah, the circumstances, they are not always the same in online battles, but in live battle you have the same mic, same crowd, same judges, so they're equal. Yeah, I think that's the major differences.
And Frosty, how much does, because I know that Kotcha on some of your rounds that I've seen, you guys really play off the crowd and you get them hype and you have that hype man kind of talk that goes on. How much does a crowd bring to a battle, and how important is it to win the crowd essentially in a live battle?
I think it's probably the most important thing. I mean, if you're doing like amazing technical stuff, but the crowd is not into it, then that's it. Like the crowd aren't into it, and that's what we are. We're performers. We're not like, we don't. Our whole aim is to make the crowd go crazy. It's not like, you know.
Got to keep that energy up, man. It's true though, but like sometimes you can watch it happening from the stage and just see someone's like, not just BBK, but I'm saying like you see people's reaction of just losing their minds when something happens, and you're like, whoa. And then once one person does it, it's contagious. Or you see Big Ben starting a big mosh pit when someone's doing something like that. It's amazing to go and watch that energy.
Sometimes
And
it's hard to keep a straight face when like you got to focus on your beats, but in front of you is like everyone's going crazy, so you got to stay completely composed.
no, it's true. And I was gonna actually ask you about Kotcha too, because when I looked up kotching, which I think the word is based off, tell me if I'm wrong here, but when I looked up kotching in the South African slang, apparently it means to vomit. And then it's defined as Urban Dictionary as just chilling in your yard or around the house, just chilling. So where did Kotcha come from? Where did that idea come from?
It's not to do with vomit. It is to do with just chilling.
Just making sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in UK say kotching if they're just chilling, and Kotcha. There was me and Dilo. We used to love this Chinese restaurant called Hotcha, and we used to go to Hotcha and Kotch, so it's Kotcha, but they closed down, so it's very sad. But the memory lives on in our tag team.
Absolutely. And you guys have doing you got second and third place at GBB. You're two-time UK champs. You won the Flow Case battle in 2015 together. What has been going on? I know that it's kind of hard times to go and actually practice unless you're doing it over the internet and sending pieces back and forth and ideas. But what do you guys have planned for the future of Kotcha? Are there big things that you're trying to achieve and something else that you want to go and work towards with him?
At the moment, there's no plans. We live like 5 minute walk apart, so it's no issue if we need to like practice or anything. But like, there's no plans for anything. But maybe next GBB we can try again and try and get the title. Maybe
Third time's a charm. Go from second to third to first. We'll see if you guys
There
can
we
do
go.
it. And Zer0, I saw that you guys you were working with a guy named Nico, and your team is EZN. I'm not sure if there's a way of saying that, but I saw you guys together have worked together, and from doing shows to you did what was it? Turkey's Got Talent. You just went on one. I think it was 2017 that you went on, and in 2015 you went on to Azerbaijan's Got Talent with a crew. But 2017 you're working with Nico, and how's that project going? Because I see, on your Instagram and just Facebook and stuff, you're doing a lot of shows with him, from the Red Bull shows to all sorts of other stuff. How's it work? How's that tag team going? And what projects are you working towards? Or maybe they've been put on hold, but what are you trying to go and achieve with that tag team?
So with Nico, shout outs to him, by the way. So he was the one of first beatboxers that about whom I found out when I like came to local community. So he's one of that experienced beatboxers that I've met, and so he was also studying abroad for 4 years, and then he came back. It was like, yeah, it was 2007. No, it was 16 or 17, I think. Yeah. So we start meeting, and right now it's like he's just one of the closest friends of mine. So we, chill a lot together. And yeah, we're always jamming together when we meet up anywhere, like in parks and so on. So we were jamming, and it was like let's try to do a video, for GBB. Let's do a wild card. Maybe it work out. So it's like we did not prepare like something like we're gonna do it in that video, but we just remembered all the stuff that we're trying to do together when we were jamming, and like made a 2-minute video of it. So yeah, we're still meeting. I met him yesterday. No, yesterday or the day before. So yeah, we're always beatboxing when we're together. Obviously, because yeah, you have two beatboxers. They're 100% they're gonna beatbox.
100%. And how was that experience on Turkey's Got Talent? Because I know that you guys made it through the first round and then it didn't go any further, but still, it was a good performance. And I was actually a lot of different times I see people, myself included in this one, that get onto the talent shows. They may not be doing necessarily hardcore beatboxing, but they're doing crowd pleasing stuff or stuff that a beatboxer such as you two guys, are such a high level look at, and you're like, it's good and it's nothing wrong with it, but it's not really showing beatboxing for what the possibility of. You just get the free opportunity to use it. And I saw in your video, off of Turkey's Got Talent, you actually were doing like full on lip roll combos, this thing, and working as a team. So watching that back was really refreshing to me because it wasn't just like trying to go and show how many sounds you can do at the same time or doing something just for the crowd. I feel like you represented very well for beatboxers. So how was that experience to actually go on to Turkey's Got Talent and get the opportunity to do that with with Nico?
Yeah, that was the point actually. Yeah, we were like, okay, we can go there and do, and everybody will be like crazy about it. Of course, that's how it works. But what we try to do is to combine something that can be good for crowd, but also beatboxers can watch it and be like, yeah. That was the main idea. I think that was one of the reasons why we didn't pass further, probably because you can do a lot of technical stuff, and any experienced and not even non-experienced beatboxer can listen to it and go crazy about it. But when you come to the ordinary person that is used to hearing simple covers when they think about beatbox, and yeah, when they see someone that is doing some hardcore techniques, they're like, yeah, I think that's impressive, but uh, yeah, whatever. So yeah, but the whole experience by with going there, it was really really good because yeah, we flew there 2 times in Turkey. um and we found like there were some, I think there were two groups as well of beatboxers from locals from Turkey, and we were jamming together and so on in hotel room. So it was really good experience because about the talent shows, you go there to show your talent, of course, but also you get the chance to see other people that perform there live, just backstage. A guy can show you a cool trick, because why not, you know what I mean? So the whole atmosphere, it was really really crazy and refreshing.
Well, I think you definitely accomplished your goal of doing something that the beatboxing community can look up to as what you can achieve on a talent show and not just go as mainstream as possible. Because I really did, I really personally enjoyed watching that back, and yeah, man, that's definitely it's nice to see. It was refreshing. So congratulations on that. So
Thank you.
I was gonna say though, I want to move on and ask a few questions because you guys have such interesting and unique styles of beatboxing. Each one of you, everyone at a certain level, like we were saying before, uh, everyone's so good now. It's kind of what style you prefer. So I was gonna say, Frosty, where did you get most of your inspiration from? Like, what inspired you musically? And you can kind of look at either bands or groups or genres? And is there something that you can look back to when you were starting out being like not just beatboxing, but you're like, oh, I really liked XYZ. This is why I might beatbox or have that rhythm and use it more. So what musically influenced you, your style?
Um, it's a really hard question to be fair, because for me with beatbox, I kind of just learn from others, like just learning from other beatboxers. But in terms of like music I listen to be honest, the music I listen to doesn't. It's not really close to my beatbox style. Maybe my looping style, but my beatbox style is like kind of just. It's just me having fun, really. For me, beatbox is just fun. Looping and stuff is like that's my music and stuff, and beatbox for me is just like a pastime almost, a very important pastime, but still.
Very important pastime for sure. And same question to Zero. I'm gonna ask you because I've also seen on a lot of some videos that you've put out and things that you've put out with guitarists where you're working with a metal crew. I think you have. I'm not sure if it's a crew at Twist of Fate. I'm not sure if that's a band or a project that you work with or something that you posted a long time ago saying that you're working with a few of your friends with guitars and stuff. But how is specifically metal music or that rock music kind of influenced your style?
Um, so yeah, as Frosty said, it's a really hard question because I think from music, like I can be inspired by any genre. You know, back in the days, I did like Turkish march. Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I can do like metal song cover. So I listen to any genre of music. It doesn't depend on genre. It just has to be good, you know, in my preference. Okay, not good because I think it's kind of rude. Yeah, I think I ins- I a lot of other beatboxers can inspire me, plus artists, musicians, and plus I can inspire me myself because I also play drums. Not professional, just I think I'm a beginner, but it's enough to do simple beats with the band. So we have a band. I the Twist of Fate. It was like a band that I was in. I was a drummer for in that group, but it didn't work out, you know, and we just, uh, you know, not like I quit it. Our vocalist, he moved to Italy for studying, and plus, you know, yeah, it just didn't work out as good as we thought it's gonna work. So right now, what I'm doing is we plan to create a band with a close friends of mine. So that's the thing. So we know each other before coming to the band, like closely. So yeah, and right this time I'm planning to do more beatboxing instead of drumming because I think it can be more original. You know, because for me as a beatboxer, I have more possibilities in creating music than being a drummer based on a skill level, obviously. So yeah, we will try it. Actually, we were trying to get official permission to be performing at streets at one of the main streets in our town. But yeah, you know, crazy stuff happened, and now we are
Yeah,
at home chilling.
absolutely. And that happens with many groups though too, depending on how many people are involved. People essentially they go on with their lives or something else comes up and you can't really, you know, think that everything's just going to last and be exact same forever. Change is inevitable, so that does happen. But Frosty, you were saying about how sometimes the music influences your looping more. I want to know because you went from trying out the loop station essentially and trying to perfect it more and more and eventually in 2019 winning the UK champs and then winning this online grand beatbox battle world league for the online version. uh what was it about looping that got you into it aside from I want to try it out, and how has that progression happened over time? Because I saw you went into multiple years of the UK champs until finally winning it. So how did you get into looping and how is it going so far? I've been winning stuff. Do you feel like you're progressing still and you're going to be bringing some brand new stuff to the GBB stage when it happens?
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, looping. for a long time, I actually didn't enjoy it. I've had my Loopstation for maybe 5 years, and I never looped. I just didn't enjoy it. I was basically forced into doing by Delo and Balance into doing the Loopstation in 2017 UK Champs, and I had no material. I had nothing, so I just kind of went up and just did whatever. I didn't. It was okay, but I didn't really enjoy it. And then after the first GBB I went to, which was 2018, um, I watched the loop stations, and that was it. I was like, oh my god, this is next level. And yeah, from there, I've been looping since then. And in terms of inspirations in my looping, it's just the music I listen to. Like I, it's hard to say. I listen to a wide variety of music, so a lot of electronic stuff, a lot of like very chill stuff. To name
Mm.
people, it's like Elderbrook is one of my favorites. James Blake is one of my favorite musicians. People like this, they inspire my style, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, you clearly are doing well at it because you just smashed it and became the UK champ at it. Not a bad one to go and take. And Grand Beatbox Battle World League online, getting a W there as well. I wanted to go and actually ask you guys a few questions before we get into some rapid fire questions, some questions from Papuni. I want to hear you guys give a little showcase of beatboxing right now live too. I just want to shout out to everybody that's watching on the live stream. Thank you guys for tuning on in right here live beyond the beats. And as the name goes, I want to actually know more about your life outside of beatboxing. So I wanted to ask you, Zer0, because when I looked it up and saw an interview that you did with, and just some old class photos essentially that you were tagged in, and also just some John Park from Human Beatbox did a little thing on an interview and an article on you for Human Beatbox. I see that you were studying and at the first Moscow State Medical University to become a doctor. And I want to know, how is that going, or did you graduate? And if you're working currently as a doctor, or is that something you're still working towards?
Um, yeah, I'm still studying. I'm at fifth year of university out of the total six. And then after that, I need to do a master and plan to go to Germany for master degree. Hope that it will work out. Yeah, how it is. Well, specifically for the medical university, it's really hard. I think it's hard in any country, and it's kind of hard to be able to study well and do things outside studying, like beatboxing. um so yeah, it's but it's at the same time it's cool because you learn how to operate different things. It makes you think more about planning your stuff. For example, like, wait, today is 17th, right?
Correct.
uh yeah, like I have an exam in 5 days, online exam. I don't know how it will work, but I need to study, and I will. I already studied a little bit, but yeah. So it's like, even if it's quarantine and stuff, we still need to study and pass exams. But hopefully all will work out.
And is that something that you're trying to pursue as to become a doctor? And what type of field of being a doctor?
Well, to be honest with you, when I just came to my university, um, I was not very, very interested in medicine, because it was like, when I was in school, when I was applying for the new school, you you had to choose the class, and class there were like four types of class, depending on the group that you want to be in terms of, like, there's first group for mathematical stuff and so on, second group for economy and so on. So the fourth group is for, is like main studies is biology, physics, chemistry, and so on. So it's based on stuff close to medical. So yeah, I applied for the fourth group and I passed. So from then I started to prepare for medical university, but it was not like I wanted to become a doctor from childhood. Like but when I actually got into it, like first year, second year, third year, I noticed that, you know, now I'm more interested in it, and I think it's really cool. And besides being cool, like as a prestige, just like interesting to, you know, go to operations, watch them, and to be able to do something yourself. Even though I'm still a student, I'm allowed to do some basic stuff. So yeah, as time passed, I got involved more in it, and I think it's really interesting.
Well, man, that's I wish you the best of luck in that because that's a noble job to go and try to take up. And also, as a personal thing, I'd love to see Doctor Nate versus Doctor Zero one day. That'd be a fantastic opportunity to go and see his live battle. Terrible dad jokes. Don't laugh at those jokes. That's terrible. But
Okay.
Frosty, I was gonna ask you too. Outside of beatboxing, I see you studied at. Let me see here. You were going to New College. I'm not sure if that's still exactly a
Yeah.
place that you were going to for music production. So I was gonna see, are you still studying there? Is that something that you're still pursuing? And from the knowledge
No,
that you got,
that was a few years ago. As of right now, I'm just working as a chef, and that's it. I just yeah.
okay, well that's what do you make? What type of food do you make? And if I went,
It's like
if I were,
Chinese food and like Thai food kind of stuff.
really, so
You have to come
if
visit.
yeah, if planes ever are accepting thing to go and do again, and I jump over, you could go and fix up an actual like proper Chinese slash Thai meal.
Yeah, I guess so. It's not really something I thoroughly enjoy, but it's just for the time, you know? Like, cause the chef work is it's very, very stressful. It's so many hours and it's just crazy. But obviously my aim is for beatbox and music.
100%. No, I used to work at many a restaurant, so I understand the whole from being the dish guy and just being
Yeah.
yelled at and sweaty and mopping and being like, oh yeah, now you're gonna work on the line by the way, and you need to cut these things, and we have 10 orders and all that stuff. So that's definitely a hard job. But
Crazy.
yeah, I feel like there's many jobs. Everyone goes through life and has many different jobs. Excuse me, most people have many different jobs that you go through, and I've done everything from changing actual toilets in different apartment buildings for a whole summer to going and painting to going and being a chef and all that stuff too. Not chef, I wouldn't say a chef, I'd say a line cook at best. But I mean, you go through all these different things, and it's good to hear though that you're actually still going to be trying to beatbox as your main thing. And I don't, before we get back to
Yeah, for sure.
beatboxing, though, before we get back to beatboxing, I got one more question for you, Zero. I saw that you're very much into the Scouts, and in 2017, they brought it actually to your home country to have the Scout World Conference. And I was gonna say, how does like I was in the Scouts when I was a kid, and you just pursued it and you've continued with it. So how has that helped you in your life? Because I know they do a lot of great work. And how has that helped you in your life? And also, is there anything that you've learned from that scouting experience that comes into beatboxing, or that scouting experience you just want to go and share with people that are watching?
You've done a legit research, my man. It's like you know about me more than I do. But so yeah, scouting. I think it's like right now, because of the university, I'm less and less involved in scouting, but I think that's one of the most interesting things that happened to me, because it's same the main idea is actually same as beatboxing, because they unite different nations in one, with sharing experience, you know. It's different things, but the main idea, it's that, plus it was like, yeah, in 2017, it's like World Scout Conference and World Scout Youth Forum. It's like the biggest event where all the scouts from different countries they gather, and they check on the amendments, maybe change them, so new ideas and so on. And plus also they are just having fun. So yeah, it was like when I was at youth forum, it's like event for um under 26, yeah, from 18 to 26 years old, so my age probably. So I did a showcase there, and it was like when I finished, everybody just stood up and started clapping like crazy, and I was like, wow, you know okay, that's good. They stood up, and it's like, uh it was shocking for me to see that people like my stuff that much, that all of them at the same time they stood up and like go crazy. But I felt that, yeah, yeah, exactly same. So but I was really happy because one thing is like you're impressed and you clap because you're impressed, but the other thing is when you really liked it, plus you want to support that person because he's a friend of yours or something like that. And all those emotions came together, and I felt it because they liked it, they were impressed, and they wanted to cheer me up, because I'm a scout and they are scouts as well. Yeah, I think it's good. It's not like it inspired me in beatbox specifically or anything, but just as a person, definitely really cool
Yeah.
experience.
Plus, it's always good to know how to tie a knot. Always helpful.
100%.
Always helpful. That's really cool, man. I like that there's other interests. And I was gonna say too, Charlie, what else interests you aside from beatboxing and music production in your life? Is there something that you're passionate about? Maybe not to the same level as beatboxing, because you say that beatboxing is still a hobby that you really want to pursue very much so. But is there stuff that you can look at me like, oh, from I don't know, think of like a skateboarding type thing or maybe something along these lines?
Um, not not so much as beatbox. I mean, I used to dance years ago, but I learned what food was, and I eat too much. And
And now you're a
I mean,
chef, so
to be to be fair, the cooking is it's okay. Like, not the work, not the chefing work. I don't like the environment, but cooking itself is quite good for me, I think. But other than that, beatbox is the main thing for sure.
and I was gonna say too, before we get into the next little part here, I got some rapid fire questions I'm gonna ask. But getting back into the beatbox world, for you, Frosty, with your many different championship wins, again, you've had a long career of taking W's and just taking championships down, and now you have the opportunity to go back to the Grand Beatbox Battle stage as a looper and really go and solidify yourself even further into the scene. What are goals that you have for yourself as a solo beatboxer in your career in beatboxing? Because that's what you said you really want to pursue. And um, what do you think about that as a possibility as a full-time career?
As in, like, solo, just me, or with equipment and
I'm talking about you, just the idea of Frosty. So you're gonna bring
so
that
just as like
in
performer.
performer, you're gonna be
Yeah.
producing music, you're gonna be working with Dan, you're gonna be doing, what is that you have in your mind of how to go and transfer this into an actual career full time and getting shows and all sorts
Mhm.
of stuff?
I mean, my aim, like, is to get my own, like, fan base. Not so much like a beatbox fan base, like my own thing, and then show my music to actual shows, like hour-long sets, like a musician.
Mm,
Because I think the way I want to push my stuff is to not be seen as like a beatboxer, but as a musician. Like, this is just music. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Beatbox is music, but definitely nice to go and actually build up a
Yeah,
fan
yeah,
base of
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
that likes Frosty, and like that idea behind it, not just being like, oh, beatboxing's amazing. Who's that beatbox? Who's that beatboxer? But really
Yeah.
solidifying your name as something unique and individual.
To be able to show that it's not just a gimmick, if you know what I mean.
100%. How many times have you been in places and all of a sudden it's kind of like that, hey, do the thing.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on, dude, do the thing. And you're sitting there like, maybe I don't want to today. Maybe I want to just sit down. And no, come on, do the thing, you know? So I do feel like this is an open question to both of you too, before we get into the next little section of what do you guys feel about that? Because I've asked this before, and I feel like a lot of beatboxers go through it of having that party gimmick, having that ping of just people kind of being like, "Hey, come on, okay, do the thing, like dance, jump, type thing," and you're just sitting there, and it might be belittled as an actual art form. So, what do you have you had experience of this? I assume everyone has, but also, how do you go about in your mind? We'll start with Zero, just because Frosty was just talking about how, in your mind, do you go and solidify beatboxing as an art form to the general public? Because you said also in your home country, people will say, "Ah, it's cool," or "Get a job," you know. So how do you feel like
Yeah.
how do you feel like that connection is going to be able to be made to the general public?
Um, well, I think the thing that can change people's mind, the one of the biggest things, it's I think it's wrong, but it's that the main thing is success. You know, for example, I can be a beatboxer, I can be a good beatboxer, but I can have no titles, and it will be like, yeah, it's cool, but you know, it's just beatboxing. And then, for example, I can win GBB, I can win world champs, and come back, and there will be two titles behind me, and the people will gonna be, oh, it's a world champion. It doesn't matter. It can be, you know, clapping world champion, or you know, breathing loud world champion. But the thing that you have that world champion title makes people to, you know, be more serious about you and and the stuff that you're doing. um so I think, yeah, what that's one of things. Plus I think with time, as people will get, you know, used to it, as an art form, not as music imitation, because it's not imitation of music, it's one of forms of music, I think. So yeah, when people will get used to see beatbox as a type of music, not as a imitation, I think it will become better.
I fully agree, and it's about darn time. Beatboxing's been around for a while, and it's slowly but surely getting that recognition. And I definitely agree with you too that it helps out when somebody who wins a world championship, somebody who wins Grand Beatbox or their home country's title, goes out and exposes it to people with that title behind it, because people are like, "Oh, that guy just won XYZ, and he's like really amazing." So maybe they'll look at our art form in more of a positive light. And Frosty, anything to add with that idea of just being like, how do you bring beatboxing to the general public and rising it up to the level of being like, oh, someone would naturally say, oh, my son or daughter is a beatboxer, and where they could say my son or daughter is a painter right now, and painting's been around for so long that people are just like, oh, that's amazing. Where can I go and buy their work? What have they done? Where have they painted? Is there anything in a gallery? Whereas somebody with a beatboxer might just be like, ah, you know, like she beatboxes, and they don't take it seriously. So how do you feel like you can change the general public's mindset on that?
I mean, yeah, I think Zero said it best. Like with the just you gotta show you gotta like prove it's not music imitation. Like it is music. You just need to somehow show it. But it's very difficult. But um I think once we all start getting like better at production, we can literally start making our own albums, and then I think people will start to see like my aim is for me to show someone like a song that I've made purely from my voice, and then be like, "Oh, that's a cool song," and then after I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, it's all my voice," and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's oh okay," like that's crazy.
That's a solid goal to have. That's like when you listen to what was I talking to? I was talking to MB14 last time on this show, and he was saying that idea of listening to like pentatonics and having groups like that where you're just like, whoa, that's what all human voice. And if you put it through a sound system, it's just, bass is shaking. Those kicks actually hit like real bass kicks, and even more unique because it's someone's mouth, and every mouth is different. So my is different than yours and his, and it's going to be different coming through the sound system. So I think there's endless possibilities with beatboxing, and I think we just scratched the surface. But thank you guys for joining us, and we're going to get into the next section. Right now, I'm going to go and ask you a few things. We're going to go into a section called rapid fire questions, right? So I'm going to ask you back and forth. I'm going to say, Frosty, ask you a question. And I'm going to say, Zer0, ask you a question, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I want you guys to give the first answer that you guys think of, and I don't want you to think about too much. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into rapid questions. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. In 3. Rapid fire. Sometimes I do things wrong and I don't know which one's which. So let me see if I got this right. Rapid fire. There we go. All right, we're into rapid fire questions with the clock in the background. I'm going to get this thing down eventually one time. But Beyond the Beats rapid fire question. First of all, Frosty, who is your current favorite solo beatboxer?
Collapse.
Zer0.
No one. I love everyone.
Ooh. Take it the
Is
easy
that
way
an
out.
answer?
No, it's not, but we'll get back to that. Current favorite looper? Frosty.
Me? Inky.
Zer0.
Inky.
Oh, Inky on it too. Current favorite tag team? Zer0 first.
I forgot the names. Oh my god. Kotcha.
Yeah, Kotcha. Mad Twins for me.
Mad Twins, all right. And I want to go and say, Zer0, question for you. Are you still a big Fall Out Boy fan?
Definitely.
All right. Frosty, imagine what?
That.
Zer0, what is your favorite anime of all time?
Oh my god. Fairy Tale.
And my last question, Frosty, what is your favorite thing to cook?
Steak.
Steak, right now. Rapid fire. Thank you guys for playing rapid fire with me. And I will get that section tighter, but I think you guys had some good answer. Now I'm going to go into a few questions from my good friend Paponi. So I hope you guys are ready for that, because
my friend Paponi, 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 my friend Paponi
has a few questions for you guys. All right. So this is straight from Paponi. Frosty, how was your experience at the GBB as a competitor with D-Lo? And what got you to go and try to push super hard to get into the Loopstation category?
My experience with tag team is very cool. It's with tag team battles, it's different than solo because there's absolutely no stress at all because you're with like someone else. So even if things go wrong, it's like it's not the end of the world. And even when it's GBB, like it's just another event to me. Like obviously after when everything's uploaded, it's like it's the biggest thing. Like it's the biggest event in the world right now for beatbox for sure. And yeah, but at the time when it's with a tag team, it's just there's no stress. And in terms of Loopstation, getting into GBB, it's looping is one of them things for me where it's like it's not so much like, oh, I have to win this, I have to win this, I have to win this. My aim is to just go and go and go and get better. Like there's no end goal in looping. But the end goal is to make a living and perform. So for GBB, it's just again like it's not too stressful for me. But I feel like my aim for GBB is to just be like next level. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question to answer for me.
That is a hard question from
my friend Paponi.
Now Zer0, question for you from
my friend Paponi.
Making sure that you go and answer this. Let me see. There are a lot of beatboxers on the online community that you've been involved with heavily, and some of them never actually go and move into going to live events. Do you think, what is this due to? And do you think it's also mostly due to a financial reason where they can't make it to these live events? Or do you think there's another reason behind some of the beatboxers online that don't come to live events?
Hmm. So I think the reasons can be different for sure. It can be lack of interest in beatbox as a career, for example, or due to financial problems. I had that for the record. Yeah, I had that problem for a couple times. So it's like but I think the mostly it can be financial problems, because for in my case, for example, it's really expensive to fly anywhere from Azerbaijan. It's like so expensive. When I was in Bulgaria, we were chilling with Contrix. Shout out to Contrix. So I saw him read the price for tickets from UK to Bulgaria, and it was like £15 or something, 60, maybe 20, maybe 30. But to fly from Azerbaijan, for example, to Poland, it's around like it can go up to $400, $500, maybe even more. So I think in a lot of countries, especially east, it's really hard to fly from there to Europe, because obviously it's expensive. And as it's not a secret that the majority of like world level events, they are held in Europe, you know. Um, so yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. And plus, in addition, yeah, that can be just because they don't want to, you know.
That's fair enough. Frosty, another question
My friend Papuni.
from my friend Paponi and yours. What are your ambitions as a solo beatboxer? Solo beatboxing when it comes to battling now? Now that you've won the UK champs, do you want to go back and win that again? Or are there any other battles that you're aiming to go battle in or win?
Yeah, I do aim to come back as like a solo competitor, because at the moment it's been a long time since I've done any solo battles like on stage. I've just been focusing on Loopstation, and tag team before it was what I was mainly known for. And because of that, I feel like a lot of people actually forgot that I'm a solo beatboxer as well. So I'm excited to come back and like perform for sure. Maybe GBB in the future. I got into the uh beatbox camp as a solo beatbox, but unfortunately that had to get cancelled. So I haven't
For
got.
now.
Yeah, for now.
For
So
now.
maybe when that comes around, hopefully I can show what I can do.
100%. Well, those, ladies and gentlemen, were questions from
My friend Papuni. My friend Papuni.
that brings us to the last section, guys. I hope you guys have had a good time. Have you had a good time so far, just answering some questions, being able to be asked? Because
Yeah,
we
it's
got
been
some
cool.
questions
sure.
throughout the live stream. Big shout outs. I'm looking at my phone right now. Maddox just sent me some questions that people were watching wanted to ask you guys. So I'm going to ask you a few questions from the actual crowd that's been watching right here live on Beyond the Beats live stream to you, Swissbeatbox. And the one question I'm not going to ask you is from Swish. He wanted to know when the last time your heart was broken, but I don't think that's anybody's business out here right now live, because that's a sad question. So we're not going to ask that, but we're going to move on to some other questions for some people that were watching. So the question will go with Zer0 first. And this is another question that's going to be coming right to Frosty as well. Did you have any experience prior to beatboxing when it came to music, other than drums? Because you said you played drums as for fun, but did you have any other musical training?
Oh, did I have training before I started beatbox, or like in general?
Before you started beatboxing?
Oh, I did not, but like my mother is piano teacher. So like from my childhood, I was, surrounded by music. I think it helped me to, to generate ideas, because like, when you hear different types of music from your childhood, it works in your brain. You know, it starts to work a little bit that way. It's not like an advantage. I think it can be gained with adult people as well. But yeah, and plus, yeah, right now after I started beatbox, I'm trying to, um, train on some finger drumming. Maybe create some tracks on FL Studio. I'm just learning right now, but yeah, I think that would be great if I mastered that and start to produce some music.
Awesome. Piano teaching. I feel like there's a lot of beatboxers that have had either piano training or had someone in their family that played that in the background, which is good for hearing the key and making sure that when you're doing a sound, it's actually in key and you're not just doing a sound that's way off the scale and you're not actually doing it right. So I've my mom as well actually didn't teach piano, but she always was in a choir and played piano a bit, so I could hear it and be
Mm.
like, "Oh, okay, that's how you go and sing correctly." What about you, Frosty? Is there any musical training in your life that you had?
My dad is in a band as a bassist, so I always like grew up around like that. Like I learned how to play the guitar. He taught me the guitar at quite a young age, just the basics. Um, my mum also used to be like a professional dancer, like a ballet and stuff like that. So maybe like rhythm and like uh yeah, like rhythm and learning the guitar. I also tried learning the drums, but it was pretty difficult for me, so kind of gave up.
So you started doing with your mouth as well.
There we
I
go.
like that. But yeah, guitar, that must have been cool. What's your is your dad still in a band or does he still jam with the
Yeah,
boys?
still in a van as a
What's
bassist.
what's what's the band's name?
I actually don't know. They change it all the time, so I have no idea anymore.
Out of any ones that you remember, what was one of the band's names? Do you remember any of the names?
Um, Beer gut explodes.
Beer gut explodes?
Explodes.
Explodes.
I have no idea. It's so random and weird.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, next question. Frosty, do you think, let me see, what do you think about Delo's prediction that beatboxing will blow up soon?
I think it's already blown up, but to become even bigger, like yeah, for sure. I don't see how it can get any smaller. So like we've got GBB every year. Every year it's getting more and more views on YouTube. The Swiss Beatbox channel is carrying Beatbox in terms of like social media wise. The subscriber count's just going up and up and up. I mean, what's it on now? Like 2.3 million, I think. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy.
something crazy like that. And I remember not long ago, I remember getting on Instagram, it said, oh, 1 million subscribers. And that was not long ago. So it's just growing and growing. So yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, huge shout out to the whole SBX team, crushing it and just growing this scene. So many thanks to everybody behind it: Papuni, Madox, Rachel, Sinjo, everybody else involved with it. Trung, you guys are amazing and should be proud of your work because it gives guys like us opportunities. So it's many thanks. Zer0, people said someone asked you. I watched Zero's videos in 2014. So did I. I found them. But in 2014, you had some channels, you had some videos on your channel, and then they saw to 2050 that you massively improved. How were you able to improve so fast in such a short amount of time?
Hmm. Mm. I don't know, man. It's like it's so hard to answer. Probably it's around the time that I got involved in online beatboxing. In Ventrilo, Rate Call, and then TeamSpeak. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that pushed my skills is getting to online community and being able to battle with amazing artists, amazing beatboxers, to become a better version of myself.
Hmm. Definitely seems like you because during those videos I definitely noticed how much better you got in a quick amount of time. And it's kind of crazy actually for both of you. Same with you, Frosty. I watched your videos and a lot of people have that natural progression where it's that curve that just all of a sudden hits a spike and just really goes up after they've been practicing for a while. But I've noticed that on the online community specifically, those Ventrilo days, those now Discord and TeamSpeak days, some of the people that were at the highest level there are now they're known on actual live events and live battles and winning these major battles. You can see the online community coming and just smashing it, and that's something that has always been interesting to me to see the crossover that's actually happened. And you're a great examples, both of you, of that online scene coming to the main scene, not main scene, but the live scene rather, and smashing it and doing well. So congratulations on that. Question 4, let me see, Frosty. What's the next question? What? Okay. What we everybody has their ideas about what they love about beatboxing. So there's all the things that you love about beatboxing. Is there anything that what's the worst part about beatboxing to you? What's something that you don't like about it?
Hmm. It's a difficult question. For me, now that I've started looping and getting good at looping, when I'm solo beatboxing, I feel very, very limited to what I can layer and stuff. But I think this is just me being like picky. Like, it's definitely possible to make music with solo beatbox, but to me, it's frustrating me that I can't do this on top of this, on top of this, on top of this. So maybe stuff like that, but it's a hard question.
It's a hard question. That's well answered though, because constriction, due to after learning how to be a Loopstation artist and then being like, oh yeah, right, I got to go and do that solo thing still too, and be able just to rock it with a microphone, a little bit constricting. That's a good answer. I like the way you answered that. Zer0, we have one more question for you, and then there's one question for you both. Where do you plan on studying if you go to Germany? Where in Germany do you want to go and study? Possible a German fan.
Wow.
Is there a city or university?
I think I want to pick like West Germany, because I've done a little research and asked some friends that were living there, and they said that it's kind of more. Maybe I'm wrong, so I excuse me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like more interesting there in West Germany in terms of for young people, for students that want to study but also want to go to parties maybe, and so on. And plus, one of the reasons is that my uncle, he lives in Amsterdam, so yeah, I'll be able, it's closer from west part of Germany to go there, so yeah. But I didn't pick a university or the city like specific. I think I will do a bigger and deeper research when I'll be close to it, to the thing itself. But yeah, that's it.
All right. The last question that we have here is, could you guys tell us, Frosty, we'll start with you. And then after this part, guys, if you're still watching on the live stream, which I can see a bunch of people are and still commenting, thank you guys for tuning in. After this last question, we're going to get you guys to go and give a freestyle for us. We're going to go and show you some beatbox skills. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Get some water if you need it. But Frosty, starting with you, how do you stay motivated during these times to keep beatboxing?
It's tough, actually, because the way I progress is I have to be busy doing other things. I don't know why this is my case, but when I'm working, when I'm doing when I'm chefing, when I get home, I feel a lot more creative. And at this moment in time, it's so draining. I have so much time and so little ideas for anything. But you've just gotta just keep thinking of what hasn't been done and just keep trying to be innovative, I guess. It's tough at the moment though, for me. I'm not the best to give advice at the moment.
Fair enough. Trying times. What about you, Zer0? What keeps you motivated to keep on going?
It's like it's so random for me, man. It's like, I don't know, there's like a period of time when I'm super creative, I'm finding new sounds, and also there's time that I'm just sitting and like, oh my god, that's a kick, so it's I think it's not random actually, but I didn't make a connection with specific things in my life that affect my creativity. For sure, for 100%, one of things is being able to chat, to jam with other beatboxers, because we share ideas, teach each other new stuff, and so on. But like me myself specifically, just being a more creative or less creative, yeah, for now it's just random. Just happens.
Well, yeah, during these times, it is hard to go and keep it. Everyone has that ups and downs, and whether it's constrictions, you don't have the same things that you're used to, can't see your friends, and the whole community is learning how to go and get through this. But I would say that biggest thing, make sure you guys just keep on practicing out there, keep on as much as you can, practice your skills, fine tune them, sharpen your sword, because the GBB will be coming up. And I want to go and get into it though. Thank you guys for sticking around, checking out some questions. You guys have been awesome so far. But I think it's time that we get into some beatboxing, get this stuff going on right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I say, come on, make some noise. Hish, hish, hish. If you guys are ready, we're about to get into some beatboxing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say which one of you wants to go first if you had an option.
Where's the coin?
Where's the
Okay,
coin?
I do have a coin. Heads or tails? Let me see. Zero, you're further away. Heads or tails?
Tails.
It's heads. Frosty, do you want to go first or second?
Zer0, you can go first, bro.
All right, yo. Frosty won the coin toss. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here live, Beyond the Beats, episode 3. We got Zer0, we got Frosty. Frosty's about to go and kick it off. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. Crowd in 3. Frosty you're up next. Zer0, you just crushed that, ladies and gentlemen. Hush, hush, hush. Frosty, starting on you. Get that freestyle going. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. Crowd in 3.
It's the rhythm alternation. This is the UK flows.
breathe the minimal. Yeah.
Yo, Frosty just slapped that up.
So
Jeez.
sick.
That was dope.
Thank you.
That was dope. You made a dope song. And yes, it all came from your mouth. Man, that was dope. Jeez. Ooh, put a smile on my face. I hope you guys are watching at home enjoying that. Beyond the Beats, episode 3, right here live. You just heard Frosty and Zer0, both Grand Beatbox Battle World League Champions online edition. They'll be coming to the actual Grand Beatbox Battle when we come back with it. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're at home, make some noise right now. Give it up for them. Give it up for them. Give it up for them. Just smashed it. Just smashed it. Ish. Thank you guys for tuning in. Before we jump out of here, I want to end not on that note, even though it was a super hype note. I just want to go and ask you guys, where can people, we'll start off with you, Zer0, where can people find out more about what you're doing, your social medias, and also what are your future plans for beatboxing?
So people can find me in YouTube, my YouTube channel, Zer0 Letter. Same in Instagram. It's pretty much same anywhere. Yeah, I think after my exam period is finished, I will get more serious in making videos, and like new content in general. So yeah, my future plans, definitely for now, is getting better, training, practicing for GBB, and trying to win it for sure.
That is a good goal to have. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Zer0 Letter, make sure you follow him up on Instagram, YouTube, check him out. Big shout outs to Zer0. And Frosty, where can people find your stuff? I know you said you're going to be doing some tutorials online for Loopstation and solo as well. And I think Zer0, you mentioned that a couple months ago as well, that you were looking to go and do some online stuff. But Frosty, where can people find your stuff? How can they support you? And what are some future goals you have for the beatbox scene in your life?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of social media, my Instagram is frostybeatbox. My YouTube is the same, frostybeatbox. And for the lessons, just whoever wants to know more, just DM me on Instagram or anywhere that's preferable, wherever you can find me. I mean, Facebook, frostybeatbox, or Charlie Pitt is my name, is on Facebook. And yeah, in terms of future plans, it's just at the moment nothing but GBB. Just smash GBB. That's my aim.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, right here live, Beyond the Beats. Did you guys have a good time with me? I'm just wondering, Zer0
Yeah,
Frosty, you had a good time?
Of course.
Well, thank you guys so much for jumping on episode 3 right here live, Beyond the Beats. We got it done, and I hope you guys had a good time on a Sunday. We had a showcase by Zer0, a showcase by Frosty, your Grand Beatbox Battle World League Online Champions. They'll be coming to the live version. Keep on subscribing to Swissbeatbox. Make sure that you go and spread this around. I hope you guys have a good time. Big love to you two guys. Big love to everybody around the world tuning in. I'm Scott Jackson. Thank you very much for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to cut it off there. Thank you, everybody that's watching online around the world. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all those good things. And that's time.